running in the door, and he's like, oh my God, you got an armadillo in your garden. Well, anybody that grows up in South Georgia knows that armadillo can tear up a lot of stuff in a little bit of time. So, me getting on the defense, I jump up in my boxer shorts and I throw my boots on because I'm a badass like that. And I go running out that back door with a 20 gauge shotgun, fully loaded, no fear in my heart at all. And then I go to meet this armadillo at our garden. And when I get to that garden, I look at that armadillo, and it was like a telepathic kind of talk that we had between the two of us, right? I looked at that armadillo and I stomped at him. And he was supposed to either ball up or run off. But he didn't do either one of those things. And that was all I was ever taught. I didn't know there was something new to it. Well, the only thing I knew to do at that time was to stomp again at him. He was going to ball up or run off. Once again, he didn't do either of those things. And at this time, I'm totally just flustered. I don't know what the hell's going on in my life. I think I've taken a wrong turn at some point. But anyway, this armadillo, this is the first night I realized that armadillos actually make their own sound, right? I mean, like, this sucker squared up at me like a pissed off bull in Spain during the running of the bulls. And he just kicked his little paw a couple of times. And he growled like, oh, I'm going to eat your ass, Billy the Ripper. And so, anyway, so this thing, he shoots at me like just a mad cannonball. And the only thing I needed to do was turn and run. And I will say this, yes, I did have a 20 gauge loaded shotgun. And in my defense, there was like this old farm equipment that was around our garden. So I didn't want to shoot and there'd be like a ricochet. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so I turn and I start running from this armadillo with a loaded 20 gauge shotgun. It's not my finest moment in my life. I will not lie about that. But anyway, I jumped over this one piece of rusted up farm machinery. It's like a little miniature plow. I jump and I clear it. And I turn to see just where that armadillo is on my tail because he was not the happiest of armadillos with me before this point. I'm just saying. So, as I look back, I'm still running full sprint. And I run shin first in this other piece of farm machinery equipment. And I'm pretty sure that the flip and the impact of me hitting the ground is what scared the armadillo off. I didn't get attacked by him any further than that point. But so my buddies helped me into the house and I get to looking and I'm like, holy crap, my leg is split open about 4 inches. And I can see broken bone. That's not a good thing. So my sister just happened to be a nurse. And to me, that's about as good as a doctor. I trust her before I would any other doctor, to be honest with you. But I called her up about midnight this night, and she had to work the next day, so she wasn't that happy. she was not happy with me at all. And I was like, Christy, what's going on? And she's like, what is it, Justin? And I was like, I think I need you to come take a look at my leg. I've gotten slightly injured in a battle against armadillo. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, just please come look at my leg. So she actually gets out of the bed, drives all the way up there, 14, 15 miles to come check on my leg. She walks in and I got my leg propped up and I'm sitting there with cold beer on the couch. And I'd already been grossing my buddies out by splitting my leg open where it was already split open. And I'd show them this broken bone. It was a compound fracture. I mean, I didn't realize, the extremities of it or whatever. But anyway, so I did that just to gross my buddies out. So my sister walks in. She's like, "Oh my God, Justin, you got a compound fracture." And I was like, "Okay. What do we do about it? How do we fix it?" And so,
was it that dramatic?
maybe not that dramatic, but anyway. So she's like, "You need to get in the car. We got to go to the ER." And I'm like, "Well, I can't walk, dadgummit." And she's like, "Josh Daniel, get his ass in the car." And so, anyway, I get thrown into the back seat of this car. And I get hauled my ass off to the ER, right? So I get in there and I get to the ER. And this nurse walks in. She's got her little clipboard and everything, you know, being all professional and stuff. And she's like, "Okay, what's your name, sir?" And I tell her my name. "And what brings you in here tonight?" And so I started off by telling her, I was like, "Look, there was this armadillo in the garden behind my house." And she interrupted me so rudely. And she told me, she was like, "Well, look, I'll be right back." And I was like, "Okay." And as she walks away, I'm sitting there thinking, well, damn, that was kind of rude. Damn hospitals. And so, minding my own business. The next thing I know, she comes back and she's got another nurse with her. And she's like, "Okay, so there was an armadillo in your garden, right?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, there was an armadillo in my garden." So I started going through this story. And her and this nurse, they're doing everything they can not to laugh at my ass right now. And so they walk away and they're like, "Hey, the doctor will be with you shortly." Well, the doctor comes in and he tries his damnedest to be just as professional as he could be. And he's like, "So what brings you in here tonight?" So I started off with there was an armadillo. I was like, "Look, Doc, for one, I done heard the word armadillo floating around this ER about 6 different occasions. I know you've already heard the story. I'm not an idiot." He's like, look, bud, I got to be honest with you. I just want to hear your story." He said, "We get the same stuff day in and day out. It's not every day we get a story like this in here. Please tell me your story." So I go through telling him the story and everything. He's like, "Okay." He's all, "Well, we're going to go ahead and give you some pain medicine and we'll get you settled into a room." And I'm like, "What you mean a room?" And he was like, "Well, you're staying here tonight. You probably need a couple of screws in your leg and everything." You know, they'd have already sewn my leg up and everything. And I'm like, "I ain't staying here tonight." And the doctor's like, "Well, you have to stay here tonight." I'm like, "No, I don't. I can call my best friend right now. He'll come pick me up. I'll leave. Woohoo! You can't get me. I'm the Ripper." You know what I'm saying? So anyway, don't call me stupid. Anyway, so we get to this point where he's like, "Okay, well, fine. If you want to go home," he said, "Why do you need to go home so bad?" And I was like, "Well, tomorrow's Mother's Day." And he was like, "Okay, I get that." And I was like, "Well, I mean, I go to the Hog Festival every year, and that's where I get her Mother's Day gift." And he's like, "Wait a damn. So you get your mom a gift from a Hog Festival?" And I was like, "Okay, Doc, I don't think you understand me. I mean, they got like little booths and stuff, little tents and stuff, like arts and craftsy stuff. It's not like it's all based on a hog." And he's like, "Well, no, you're not going to a hog festival tomorrow." And I'm like, "Okay, I think I will." And so they decided they're going to send me home on some pain medication. Well, I had never in my life taken a Percocet. I didn't know how strong they could be. Didn't know. I'm innocent. So he tells me to go home and elevate my leg from this horrific armadillo attack that was brought upon me. And so, anyway, I'm like, "Doc, I ain't gonna do it." I'm going to the Daggum Hog Festival and you can't stop me. Ripper. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, so the next day I get up and I go to this hog festival and I'm up on my leg on crutches. You know, I powered right on through. Can't stop me. But I did that for about 8 hours, and until I thought my leg was going to detach from my hip, I was in so much freaking pain because of this stupid armadillo. I'm not playing. This shit hurt. So I tell my buddy, I'm like, hey man, we gotta go to the truck. I think I need to take one of those, you know, anti-inflammatories or pain pills. Keep in mind, I've never taken one of these at this point. And so we go to his car. I pop a top on the Bud Light. And I take one of these pain pills and we decide we're going to chill for just a little bit because I'm smart enough to know it doesn't kick in instantly. It takes a little bit of time, right? So we sit there about 30 minutes and I done sipped on this beer, finished it. And when I get to the bottom of that beer, I'm like, daggum, I don't feel any better. I think I might need to take one more of those Percocet things. So I take another Percocet. And I pop the top on another beer. And I drink that beer. And I sit there for about 15 minutes. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I think I must be immune to these things or whatever. Because, ow, my leg, it hurts. It's painful. I'm being a little wuss at the time. I'm not going to lie to you. So I decided I'm going to be smarter than this armadillo injury. And I am going to take a third Percocet. And I am going to chew it up. And so I chew up this Percocet and I pop the top on my third beer. And as I'm sitting there drinking this beer, about the time that third Percocet got like down in my chest, I'm pretty sure it kicked in. Because my buddy was talking to me, and all I could feel like was I was slobbering. And I look at him like, so being that I was incoherent, I couldn't even talk to my best friend. And I felt like everything he was saying, it was weird. It's like, I don't know, it was so weird. But anyway, so after my third Percocet kicked in, I really don't remember a whole lot of the evening from after that. But I will just say this, and if I could give all of my, if I could give my fans one piece of advice, it would be, you know, don't go chasing armadillos in your boxer shorts. Because it don't always work out. Just saying. It don't always work out.